Good morning, Internet! Yeah, that was probably really bad. I'll listen to this as I get back to it. But, today is a special episode. It's our special. It's episode 5. You guys probably can tell. It's a truck that I had and then lost and then have again. But we're going to put a little song in here, so. And I'll come back. I want you to listen to the whole song and then I'll come back when we're on the street. Alright, we're on the street. We're close enough to it. So, the Good Morning Internet is from Allie Knight. It's my probably worst impression of Allie Knight. But watching her channel is kind of what inspired this, sort of, in a way, I guess you could say. And then this truck sort of does have a connection to Allie Knight. I made a video a while back called What Happened to Allie Knight, which, now that I think about the title, it is a very clickbaity title, because at the time nobody knew what was going on and it looked like I had answers. But really what that video was just asking everybody else, hey, anybody know what happened to Allie Knight? However, that video has made me no money but a lot of views. It's made this channel semi-popular. I say semi-popular because we're not a huge channel here. This is not a huge channel with a lot of people. We've got about 203 subscribers as last time I checked. But so what this episode is really is just a tribute looking back a little bit. I'm going to share some of my favorite moments of my life while making these videos while driving. So one of my favorite things was, as you guys can probably tell, I used to love to catch Allie Knight's videos. I had a lot of time to kill in between classes. Not enough time to study, but enough time to pop in some headphones and watch a video on my phone. So if I was early enough, I would catch one of Allie Knight's videos during lunch, which I took a half-hour lunch. So I spent about... There's the outside of this bad boy. We have a nice headache track. It's been modified a little bit since the last time you've seen it. There's also a push bar. I think it's called like a cattle guard. It looks more like an Australian truck. But so going back to my previous story, I would catch a video of Allie Knight's during lunch, or I'd catch it in between classes, and then that would be an old video. And then sometimes, if I was lucky enough, I wouldn't have homework, so I would actually catch her videos right as they came out, which was cool. So another one of my favorite things about this was just the whole excitement of getting a new truck, driving to a new location, and picking up a new trailer load that I had. Now, you can see there's a difference between me then driving these and me now driving these. Back then, I was driving almost all the time. I had a lot of fun with it, and I was a very, very cautious driver. I was better at it. What happens is now it's sometimes I only drive like one day a week, when back then it was driving almost every day a week, especially during my breaks from college. Now I've been on a bit of a break from college because I'm looking for a job, but still I have things I need to do, like look for a job, fill out job applications, all that. And that was back then during my breaks. I felt like I was cheated in a way. I felt like I was cheated in a way because I would get breaks and then I wouldn't have money or time to do anything. So I would sit here and drive all the time. Which, don't get me wrong, it was fun. But given the choice, if it was drive all the time or go out and buy Hot Wheels, redo Hot Wheels, get money for spray paint, and have all the time to do that, I'd rather take that. But, such is life. Another fun thing was, this was a great way for me to kind of just chill out and say what I wanted to say, express myself. I didn't really have to sit in front of an audience or talk to anybody because I was more nervous then. College actually does help you realize who you are. It does help you to find yourself. I know when I was a student, that was one of the dumbest things you could have ever said to me was, "Oh yeah, I'm spending however much to go find myself, blah blah blah." Now I realize the whole meaning of that. It was actually, well, you struggle a lot, you have deadlines and commitments. That's from the good old Silver Bullet band there, Riding Against the Wind. But yeah, you have deadlines and commitments, you need to do things, so. And then you really learn how to make things happen. Which was, if you ask me, that was one of the most valuable things I learned in life, was learning how to make things happen. So, some way, somehow I get these videos out on time, sometimes earlier. Hint, hint, last week. Sorry about that, I got distracted and didn't see that I uploaded it on a Tuesday instead of scheduling it for Thursday. Now, I'm sure those of you watching this in the future are going to be like, what? Yeah, those of you who like to sit and catch my videos at a later date, they used to be scheduled for Thursdays, and you're probably watching this on a, Monday. So, but whatever day you're watching this on. Now, going back, I drove a manual car in a parking lot, and I had no prior experience driving a manual car other than playing this simulator driving with these trucks, and I actually did pretty good. I only stalled out once, so that was interesting. And then this game has also given me an eye for scenery. I love cruising in, you know, one of the things that I like is I don't drive myself, but I have a lot of time while riding in the car to look at things. And of course I get a little bit nervous. I don't know why. I think it's just being out. And that usually subsides in about 15 to 20 minutes. But I get to look out and see all these little scenery things that nobody else sees. You know, it's different when I come back and record the voiceover narration for these videos. I get to look at all the farms, I get to look at all the trees, all the other trucks, cars going down the road. I really assess how well I drive. Right now it doesn't look like I'm doing too well. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't look like I'm doing too well because it looks like I'm going over into the shoulder, but that's just how I taught myself to drive, really. I'm not too far into the shoulder. The other thing with shifting, the reason why I'm grinding a lot of gears is I'm not used to driving using a real Eden Fuller transmission, and that's what I have this set up as. And when I was driving the cab over International, that was set up for 18 speed, but it wasn't a traditional Eden Fuller. It was more of like a almost like a two-stick configuration, if you can think about it like that. So I'd have to actually push down while the shifter was in the neutral position, push down and bring it all the way to the bottom right, and that was my reverse. For an Eden Fuller, the way that it has set up here, that would be where your first shift position, or in this case, low, would be. And on an Eden Fuller, your low position is all the way to the left and down. First would be in a traditional 6-speed manual. First is where your third gear is, and then second where your fourth, and then on and then, you know, that's how it goes. So first would be in your third, second would be your fourth, then on and then fourth, then on and then that's how it goes. I don't know why I'm having such a roadblock with words sometimes. I mean, everybody says I'm alright there, but I think it's just because I'm tired and I'm not focusing as well. I've had a lot of sleepless nights. Well, not really sleepless nights, but I don't sleep as well as I should. I go to bed late, like 12:30, which I'm starting to get out of that routine. I'm trying to go to bed around like 10:30 since I have the time to, and then wake up at about like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So, and I noticed that I just feel better when I do that. That was my college schedule, and it really paid off because I was able to focus. It was easier for me to focus. I didn't have all these little stammers and little stops and starts in my speech. I don't even know how I survived high school doing that. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't go to bed late in high school. Went to bed at about like around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Fridays I would stay up because it was the weekend. I wasn't doing anything the next day. So the other thing why you keep hearing the Jake brake here is I'm trying to figure out what is the best gear to go down this hill. I don't want to just take this at, 50 miles an hour. It's a little nerve-wracking because there's a curve coming up. Oh, I forgot to mention. For those of you, this is new to the truck. It's a new location. It's Oregon. And I'd set this truck up when I originally did it. I found out the reason why it's in this yellow color was because it was for construction hauling or heavy hauling, something where you would want to be easily seen. So I thought, what's better than hauling logs out of Oregon? And that's why I have this truck set up the way it is. We also have the rotary beacons on top, just so people know, hey, long load coming. I can't believe I almost forgot that. So another thing with this game that I learned was pretty much just, you gotta have patience and you gotta be well aware of what's going on around you. Cars like to stop in front of you, people will slow down. New addition is the detours where there'll be like an accident. You have traffic lights like this coming up. And if you notice, I don't really hit the brakes, I kind of coast to a stop. So. And I mean, you got people like the cars next to me. That SUV just didn't even slow down. I had a feeling that the light was going to change. Oh, we are overshifting the heck out of this. Well, the other thing is, I'm trying again to find the best gear. That way I don't undershift. So we have too much power going up this hill, and I also don't want to roll back down this hill. Yep, grinding gears. Now please forgive me, I mean it's a new truck. I had only driven this truck about twice before doing this video. I bought it and then drove it to my garage so I could go store it for this episode. And then the garage, I think, was in New Mexico, somewhere like that. Took this truck out for a delivery getting from, no, it was in Nevada. So coming from a big garage in Nevada going to Oregon. So now I know some of you probably would have said, if you were going faster you would have made it. Well, yeah, but then I wouldn't be keeping up. I would be speeding. So, which speeding is bad. You never want to speed. And at an intersection like this, you don't know what's going to happen. People might pop right out of the intersection. People might just drive right by you. You know, somebody might not be paying attention, and there you go. Here we are grinding gears again. The reason why that happens for me from a sudden stop and start is mostly I'm trying to put it into a higher gear most of the time, and then I go too low. So it's like I'll go from like third to first instead of third to second and then first. I was also nervous of that red car poking out there. I didn't know if they were going to try to go or hop in front of me. Because nobody seems to have respect for semis anymore, especially in this game. You know, they never think about, oh, there's 118,000 pounds trying to stop. Don't stop on a dime. But I guess you get used to driving your car and you figure everybody else drives like you. I guess. I don't know what everybody else thinks. Oh, okay, good. I also don't like to do those hard stops, if you notice. Oh, another thing. This is a cool looking truck. I look over at this truck on our left. I want to say it's an Isuzu or Nissan. To me it looks like a Nissan Atlas, but I can't really tell. And the reason why I'm thinking a Nissan Atlas is it has that similar front to a Nissan tow truck, or in Japan they call it the Nissan Atlas B24 safety loader, which is a pretty common tow truck in Japan. How do I know this? Well, I've watched quite a few racing animes that are, you know, based in Japan. I'm also a snob when it comes to that kind of stuff. like watching them with English subtitles where you have to read the English and then the voice is all Japanese. It seems a little bit more authentic. You lose realism when it's in English, and then sometimes the translations are so bad when it's just an episode in English. I was watching one where it was a MX-5 Miata racing a AE86. I don't know why I was pausing there, but it was a MX-5 Miata, I want to say, versus a Toyota AE86, and they kept calling the MX-5 an 86, and they kept calling the AE86 another AE86. The translation didn't work. It was all screwed up. But then again, too, I think that was from an underground anime house where it was, they're doing the translations out of the goodness of their heart and not for money. So you can't ask too much when it's a person who's just volunteering. But when you're paying for it, yeah. So another thing that I'm kind of interested in is, I wonder what the trucking of Japan is like. Because they have right-hand drive over there. And from one show, I've seen a lot of semis on the highway, mostly at like midnight when people are just racing around. Of course, it's a television program. Not really realistic. It's like, you know, when people see movies from the U.S., like, I guess Fast and Furious would be a good example. I guess they think that, you know, all Californians are cool and have race cars, expensive race cars at that. Which, for a fact, I'm pretty sure for a fact the average person in California, no. Because the emissions and the taxing on those cars, and the gas tax that you had to fuel, you know, the tax on fuel, yeah, no. Which, again, my basis on California is mostly from the movies and television. I get an idea from this game that California is pretty built up. Well, it depends what part. I mean, Los Angeles, yeah. Some of the outlying areas, no. San Francisco, oh man. I need to do another haul in San Francisco. Just see if I got it. Yeah, if I still have it, going up those hills with a 18 speed. That's part of the reason why I like Oregon, because you'll get to parts like this where there's not really that many people out on the road, and then you come to a small town, and it kind of gets a little congested here. But it's probably, that is the reason why speed limits are what they are. Like, right here the speed limit's 40. I'm not even doing that, and that's the speed limit for trucks. They don't want they're trying to prevent noise pollution. And then here we are leaving the small town. You guys could probably read what it was on the map when it popped up, but we're leaving the small town, we're going into a forest area. It's not so populated with trees, but again, pretty desolate. There's almost nobody on the road. And then, I don't know what this is, you guys can probably see it. Cars keep popping in and out. I guess that's just a weird glitch. Like, they just disappear. So, when I was playing this, I noticed that, and I'm like, I don't get why that's going on. And then these guys actually won't disappear. See? You see them in my window. So, if any of you guys know what that is, you guys are probably a lot more tech savvy than I am. Please explain, and please give me a solution to why the cars keep popping in and out. So far, I just think it's a glitch because, you know, it's a game. I also am probably having performance issues because the cars are modded, the trailers are modded, the truck's a mod. The trailer's actually a stock trailer, so. So if you're wondering why I used that song in the intro, I know this is probably a long way from the intro, and why am I bringing this up now? That was a song I used to listen to while I would truck a lot. I'm a big fan of Fleetwood Mac, so, and Go Your Own Way is just one of those cruising songs. Now it's a heavily edited version, of course, because, you know, YouTube, and I'll probably get a copyright claim on this video for using that, if not using something else. So, but yeah, I always thought Fleetwood Mac was good traveling music, just because of Lindsey Buckingham's guitar playing. I also kind of like Stevie Nicks' voice too. So, also got to see Stevie Nicks live in concert. Good experience, but the Pretenders was better. Chrissie Hynde and the Pretenders were great for the. They were the opening act. Stevie Nicks was the headliner. And man, that was just a good time. I lost my voice. But also too, again, at that time, I wasn't really doing anything. I was taking a class. And it was a fall semester, and it was a class I needed. That's how I fell in love with statistics, because I had a good teacher who actually taught me how to do all the statistical explanations, solutions, problems. Equations is the word I'm looking for. Alright guys, I'm not going to do it. I'm not pulling in for an inspection. Yeah, no. Mostly because the way that inspection lane did. No! Alright, so mostly the reason why I didn't pull in for an inspection there was because the way that the inspection lane is run there, the whole scale, it's too inconvenient to get to. My stop's right here, and then also I wasn't expecting that guy to pull out, and that's why we hit him. Technically, well, not technically, I believe that would be my fault too, because I'm supposed to have control of the vehicle at all times. However, I still think you guys probably would cut me a little slack if you saw that, because he did pull out. He did see that I was coming at a rate of speed where I didn't really have enough time to stop. We're almost at our destination too, which is hilarious. I was able to talk for a good amount of time with just a few brief pauses here and there. So I know in the last episode, if you guys are following this like a television series, I wasn't able to talk the entire time. So, oh, this part here. So usually these intersections throw me, not intersections, but the way that these roads are laid out throw me for a loop. Not this one. Let's see if I signal in time. Come on. Right about here. There we go. So guys, we're coming up to it. I'm going to actually be quiet, drop another song in here. And on that note, I want you guys to keep one thing in mind. Be decent to each other.